essentially what we want to identify tonight is how successful traders identify trading in the trading world. What we look at as traders to get us, to make us do those and execute those trades. What we'll go through tonight is a step-by-step look at what we look at to identify the pitfalls and what you need to do to make it be successful within this industry. There's a number of elements that you need to be aware of, the obstacles that face yourself. And if you are aware of them, then that makes your journey much easier. And that's what we hope to encourage you to be able to take that journey successfully. Now, nobody is born a trader. Nobody wakes up and thinks, I'm going to be a trader. But everyone has the capability, everyone has the potential to be a successful trader. Trading, essentially, isn't very complicated. A lot of people think that trading is very complex. A lot of trading institutions make trading sound very complex. Essentially, it's made up of certain elements. Buying and selling. You ideally want to buy low and sell high, or sell high and buy low. When broken down like that, it seems simple. There's a lot of things that go into it which make trading more complex. Once you know how to identify these, then you'll be able to trade successfully. And that's what you want to be able to do. You want to be able to identify the signals, identify the news that will make a success of trading for you. So how do we trade on a day-to-day basis? We've talked essentially it's about buying and selling. We use a variety of data sources. These data sources give us the information that makes us make those trading decisions. Without these data sources, you're trading blind. You essentially need to know what the world is going, what's happening in the world, what's happening in the financial markets. Once you've got these key skills and sources to hand, it's just another armory to your tools. You need to have this. So as traders, we make sure we have our data sources. Then, it's one thing having these sources. You've got all the information. You need to understand how to use that information. You need to understand what's important and what's not. What information is going to make you money and what information could potentially lose you money. So you need to be aware of the market moving information, because there's a lot of noise out there. What you want to be able to do is filter out the noise. You only want to be concerned with the information that will impact your market. If you know how it will impact the market, then you have a chance of picking a good trade. But you still need to be able to identify these. And that's what, as successful traders or professional traders, you want to get into a position to be. To identify the news so it becomes second nature. Once you've done this, then that can't go away. That will always help you in your trading. We're all here to understand how to make money, to understand the processes involved, the information that will give us the edge. And that's what we want to be able to understand. You know, what's going on in let's say, for example, Greece. How can I interpret that into making money? We've got a situation in Greece where they've put themselves in a hell of a lot of debt. There's been, for years, bad money management. This has in turn resulted in the Eurozone crisis, or the sovereign debt crisis that we're facing. Now, they've been borrowing money, 110 billion last year, 109 billion this year. All these statistics are great. What does this mean to us as traders? How can we interpret this information, or any information that comes out from this region, to make money? That's what we all want to know. And essentially, what does this mean for us? Well, as far as traders are concerned, it will affect every market. It will affect the bond market, foreign exchange, the equities, the commodities. The whole asset class will be affected. If something, for example, is dollar denominated, let's say you buy oil in the barrel, $97, $800 a barrel at the moment, for example. If the dollar gets stronger, what does that mean to us? What does that mean to us as traders? That means all the people buying oil around the world have to pay more for their oil. That could mean that they buy less. If they buy less, then the price of oil might come down. Supply and demand. But just knowing that the price of oil is in dollars, there's a trade for you, there's an opportunity. And that's what you want to be able to identify. And that's the beauty. If you understand how the markets operate, if if you understand what links each market, you have a trade in a number of markets. Anyone can identify this. Anyone can do this. It's making sure you learn this. It's making sure you understand inherently how these markets are linked. Once you've got that education, that can always be applied and transferred across the board. Let's look at some markets that you would not think would be linked. You know, for example, the corn, wheat and soybean. These markets, what have these got to do with Greece? A lot of you would think nothing. In general terms, probably yes. Doesn't have a lot to do. They do consume a bit, but they're not big players. So how would that affect the price of the corn, wheat and soybean, or any other physical product? It's the connection. It's the connection that people are speculating that Greece will default. If Greece defaults, then the euro will take a hit. The value of the euro will go down. Like we talked earlier, the value of the euro goes down, the dollar will go up. And if the dollar goes up, as we mentioned, all these products are dollar denominated. So even though they've got nothing to do with Greece, all because they're traded in dollars, there's a link, there's an opportunity, and that's what you need to identify. It's not that simple, though. It may sound that simple. It's one thing you need to understand, that markets are linked, but there's so many factors that play a part in markets that you need to be aware of them. You need to be flexible. You need to be able to adapt with the markets. If you can adapt with the markets, you'll be able to trade in any environment. And it's being able to adapt that will make you a success in these markets. We have a situation that the dollar's got stronger, so we'd think the price of commodities will go down. It may do. But then we have to look at the fundamentals behind each commodity. If you're talking about corn, you need to know how the harvest is going. How the buyers, is there more buyers, is there more sellers? You need to look at the information inherently. Once you have this information, then you can make your decision. Having this information is not enough. Then you need to be able to give a certain amount of weight to each information. It seems like a lot to take in, but once you have this knowledge, once you have this information, you can apply this to all markets across the board. You can apply it at different times. So it's getting that grounding. It's getting that information in the first place. Knowing what to do with it. Once you know what to do with it, then you can apply that in any circumstances. Not just in the corn market or wheat market. You can apply it in all markets. And that's what we want. We want people to understand. Because essentially in the trading world, 80% of people will not be successful. The statistics are against a lot of people. The reason for this? Lack of preparation, lack of understanding. What you need to do, if you are going to come into the financial world, is you need to understand how these markets operate. You need to understand what are the market drivers. You need to understand what's going to make you money and what's not. If you have that foundation, you can apply it across the board. People take the leap. They take the leap into markets without knowing how markets are linked. You speak to everyone, everyone's buying gold. But a lot of people don't understand why gold is going up. When gold decides to stop going up and turn around, when the market indicators are telling us it's going to come down, a lot of the people who don't have the experience, who don't have the understanding, will be the last to get out. And believe me, you don't want to be the last person to get out. Because the last person getting out is always making the biggest loss. You need to be in a position in which you're the first to identify the news. You're the first to react. Everyone has access to the markets. It's not a privilege anymore to be able to trade. It's not something for the elite or the few. It's open to the masses. But if you want to be a successful trader, you do not want to be in that 80% statistic. You want to be one of those educated people who know how the markets operate. Once you're able to identify that, then you'll know exactly what to do. So you've got another trade off the week. It's providing you with plenty of opportunities. And this is the key. Be flexible. Be aware that markets are linked and how they're linked. Once you know how they're linked, that's going to provide you with the trades. It sounds simple. It is simple if you break it down and understand how the markets operate. Anyone can do it. All of you can do it. It's whether you want to do it, whether you want to put in the hard work. It's not easy. It's not going to come overnight. But if you put the work in, you'll have the opportunities that a lot of people can only dream of. These markets provide you with opportunities, and that's what you want to be in for. You want to be in the driving seat. You want to be able to understand how markets operate and how they work. Yeah. Could you be a trader? Well, yeah. What we do is we hope that we teach people through education, through Learn the Edge. We teach them what we look at as traders, what we look at to make our decisions on a day-to-day basis. Can anyone be a trader? Yes. It's because if you want something and you have the right guidance and direction, you can all do it. Any career, any path. As long as you have an understanding of how these markets operate. And that's it. That's the key. And that is what we try to do in conjunction with Learn the Edge. We try and teach people what traders do, what traders look for, what traders identify. It's broken down into a number of different courses. Everyone's levels are catered for because everyone is at a different stage. And that's what we try and get across. Essentially, trading is what you want it to be. You can trade so many markets now across the world, 24 hours a day. It's opened up to the masses. It's accessible to all. Dependent on your means, the amount of time you want to put in, you can all make a success of it. But it's down to what you put in. And if you put in the work, the dedication, the education, you have that foundation. There's no reason why you cannot be successful. That's why we're here today, because we want at least the people here not to be in that 80%. We want you to be in that successful 20%. And you can. If you take the right direction, take the right guidance, you can do it. This is something that I have on my desk every day, and I believe in it. I believe that if you do something repeatedly, it becomes, if it's excellent, it always carries on. It's self-perpetuating. If you believe in yourself, you can achieve. You can become a trader. Put in the work, put in the education. Anyone can do it. This is where we all want to be. We all want to be successful traders. Trading is simple. It's just not that easy, and that's the truth. It's simple when broken down, but it's just not that easy. Once you've got all the tools, it can become easy. Thank you for listening. I hope we've given you a slight insight into what us as traders look at and what makes us make our decisions. And we hope it makes your decision into getting into the trading world much easier. And hopefully you all become successful traders. Thank you.